Hey everybody, welcome to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. I'm doing a series called What Makes This Singer Great? And next up is legendary Al Green. Before we get started, if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe to my channel. That'd be super cool. Don't forget to ring that bell so I can keep more videos coming your way. And I have a singing course. It's called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. You can find it right here at kentamplinvocalacademy.com, where we walk through step by step what it takes to make you a great singer, should you be interested. What do I think of when I think of Al Green? Lots of things, man. I think of just a legend and his incredible smooth vocals, man, of course. I think of just timeless classics, and I think of him being really, really sensitive in his vocals. In fact, it's kind of interesting. I'm going to do Let's Stay Together, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. But my understanding is that he hated that song, and he hated the way he sang that song, and yet that song is probably personified kind of what we think of when we think of Al Green, that sensitive, sexy, intimate, real genteel vocals. But he wanted to sing more manly and wanted to be known as more of a manly kind of vocalist. Now, I did a version of Here I Am. I will put that in the description. You can check out and see how I did. And I actually kind of took his wish list of what he wished he'd sounded like, kind of internalized it myself and represented that with my own artistry in that. So tell me how I did. I'm no Al Green, but I did try, and I kind of put my own little rock kind of influence, a little more power and whatnot in it. And I tried to give him some of the sexy, softer stuff in there too. But anyway, so I think of that. I think of Let's Stay Together, of course, that song. I think that's probably maybe the biggest wedding song of all time. I kid you not. It'd be kind of weird. Let's Stay Together. What are you anticipating? Not? I don't know, but it is a huge wedding song. Some of the cover songs he did, because he was known for doing covers. How Can You Mend a Broken Heart, a Bee Gees tune. He did a really interesting version of that. He did A Change Is Gonna Come, a Sam Cooke tune. Love and Happiness, we know that tune. And all of his lyrics were pretty upbeat. So I really like that a lot about him, because some of the other Motown stuff could have been darker or, kind of nasty. His wasn't like that. So Here I Am, I told you I did that song. I'm So in Love with You, or I'm Still in Love with You. Excuse me, that was the name of it. And then I think of it being a pastor, right? He became a pastor and stopped after an ex-girlfriend or something came into his house and poured scalding soup or beans or something on him, burned him really bad. She went in the other room and killed herself. I mean, it's morbid, but it actually happened. And it was at that point he realized, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be part of this Hollywood music business thing, and he became a pastor, and he's been a pastor, I guess, ever since. So I Can't Get Next to You is another song I think of. But let's dive into Let's Stay Together, and let's check out his vocals. And
he's a great writer, but also a great, great singer. My favorite person, my brother, Mr. Al Green. Let's stay together. Just simply say, I'm so in love with you. I guess you know that, huh? Whatever you want to do.
Now, I want to point something out. Remember what I just said about him wanting to be more manly in his sound? That's not how the song was sung in this dude's high, real, like bedroom voice. I'm so in love with you. I know he got talked into, his producer talked him into doing it this way and going with it, because that's how the song was written, and they wanted him to stay true to it. And that's kind of what we know about him. So how ironic it is that oftentimes an artist, what they become known for, what people like them for, is not what they really wanted to be or the song they wanted to be known for. In this case, you can kind of hear him leaning into the sound more, than the song was supposed to be originally written for. So really gentle, real sensitive on the album, and not so much here live.
It's all right with me.
A little bit. He tries to give some integrity.
Make me feel so brand new.
That famous.
And with you. Let me say it sings all
I love this, man. It's so good.
Since
Old
we've
Motown
been
too.
together, loving you forever is what I need.
Love that change.
Oh, let me be the one you come running to. You see, I
I thought was really cool, whether it was Marvin Gaye, whether it was him, Smokey Robinson, these other guys, is they were so confident in their sexuality as men that they could sing something gentle and they still knew they were men. And what I mean by that is they weren't afraid to be gentle on something. It's like a guy's not afraid to cry, let's say, right? If he's manly and he's comfortable in his skin and who he is, it's okay if he shows his emotion. It's okay if he shows his passion. It's okay if he shows his sensitivities and whatnot. And that is certainly the case here. And Al Green is no exception to that. And I really appreciate that about a lot of that kind of music. Marvin Gaye was excellent at that as well.
Ooh, baby, let's stay together. Loving you whether times are good or bad, happy or sad.
Love his sensitivity and his command of going in and out. I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want me to is alright by me. But you make me feel, great, just sensitivity coming in and out of mix, voice, chest, head mix. Really great stuff. Good tone. I mean, these guys they wrote the book on this kind of sound and this legendary tone and sound or whatnot. And I also too, I know he has other songs out. He did some gospels, but he also has some other songs out like I Want to Get Married, right? And most of the guys back then weren't talking about getting married. They were talking about, hooking up and moving on, right? So, kudos to him for his really uplifting, spiritual, great lyrics and whatnot. And yeah, I could play the whole song and you guys know it probably better than I do. Maybe I don't know how many times you've heard it. But tell me what you think of when you've seen Al Green. I've never seen him, I was too young. But if you've seen him, whatever you've seen or whatever turned you on about him, whatever you think of when you think of Al Green, what makes him great. And again, I'm doing most of this by request, guys. So if you can think of somebody you want me to do a cover of and do a reaction to, please put it in the comments section and check out my next video.